So today we've got Jarek sharing with us a little bit about what he's doing with QikPix. All right, check.
Thanks,
All good stuff.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Great.
So, QikPix. My wife and I co-founded QikPix about 8-9 months ago now. So I'll talk to you guys about QikPix. We are a photography services company. Basically takes place online. But what we do is we match users with photographers for digital and physical services based on the user's interest and location. I know that sounds like one long run-on sentence, so I'll tell you guys about that in a second. What I really want to tell you about first, though, is the reason why we're able to do what we did, and that's because there's a problem within an industry that's existed for hundreds of years that most people don't realize is actually the problem. So the problem is that the photography industry has had very little progress over the past 100 years, except for in ways of software and advancements with cameras and things like that. So what these advancements have done in software and with actual physical products is it's created an entirely new market which never existed before this. And this is the amateur photography market. So the amateur photography market has completely disrupted the professional market. And what I mean by that is, before the amateur market became so big, photographers were people that we all knew, we all went to, family or friends recommended them, or they lived in our communities. And they had their prices and we knew they were good, and that's always who we went to. So the amateur market disrupted them because they created an entirely different playing field when it comes to prices. And the amateur market charges a lot less than the professional market. So what this does is it drives the professional market's prices up. So what you actually think you're getting is a deal, most of the time isn't. You'll hire an amateur photographer, which could be a family friend or your brother's wife, and they do good photos, they do okay, and they charge a lot less. And because of the economy, most people go with them about 99% of the time. And then when you do go to a professional photographer for things like a wedding or engagement photos, it costs you $400 or $500 in places like Bloomington Normal. Those aren't Chicago prices, those are right here in town. Now you can find people that charge a lot less, and they're good, so I'm not saying that they aren't there, but that's about the average of the prices. So my wife and I, we wanted to open a photography studio, but we had to do it, thinking practically. And that came with thinking what happens in photography today and why it's so expensive and costs and everything like that, running out a business plan. So we noticed that there was this gap in these two markets. So we decided to fix it, and that's what QikPix is. We started with an MVP. We operated on Facebook to test our idea, and our idea was that we could get professional photographers, professional quality, vet them, make sure that they are professional, and we could charge a lot less if we broke down every process involved with photography. And what I mean by that is a professional photographer deals with numerous amounts of jobs. They have to book their appointments, they have to build out their websites, they have to advertise, they have to do all their own paperwork, and then they have to do the longest part, most often the longest part, which is editing. So they have to edit every one of your photos and every other client they have to sit down, they have to go through all of this stuff by themselves, and it takes a long time. So we figured out a way to break the processes apart, and the first part was the editing. We figured that if we could break apart the editing process, it could cut down time and then cut down cost in the end. So we did, and what we did is we got a team of editors. So instead of one photo going to one photographer, 20 photos going to one, 20 photos will go to 20 different photographers, which are all editors, of course. So that was the first part that we come up with, and then we thought, taking it a step further and going into physical photography, and then we brought the photographers on board as actual photographers. And what we did is we offered to pay them an hourly wage for every photo session that they do, but we handle everything on the back end. We handle all their booking, we handle all their appointments. All they have to do is get online, a few clicks of a button, and they build out their schedule, and that gives you, the customer, the ability to find them very easily. So we started on Facebook, and then we went to the website you see right here, and this is, I guess, what you call our MVP. It was something that we put together to kind of test our theory and get the proof of concept down and see if people liked it. So we had an overwhelming response in October and November of last year. We launched it, and we had tons of people getting a hold of us, and not just from Illinois, we had people from around the country sending in photos as well. So we knew that we had something, we knew we were on to something. We made money in our first month. So winter came, And then we broke away from that because it's Illinois and we hadn't built out our network yet. And we focused on building the network to supply the customers. And we got about 40 photographers almost in 8 months. So now we have a network of 40 photographers and editors around the country in about 20 states, 20 or 21 different states is what we're in. So once we found the photographers and editors, we decided that we were going to work on building out a new site, building out the infrastructure to be able to hold them all so the process is as seamless as we wanted it to be for the end customer. So we hired a couple developers, we got developers building a new website, and that should be launching here probably the end of April. And what you'll be able to do, what you can expect to do, it has the same idea of what we have now. The customer will be able to get on our website. If you want to find a photographer, you'll be able to push a couple buttons, put in some pertinent information, your location, what you want. We focus mainly on family photography and birthday parties, and we do headshots and stuff like that. We don't really do weddings because we have to guarantee our quality across the board for every photographer and editor in the entire country. So we focus mostly on what you call lifestyle photography. So to be able to put in what you want, birthday party or anything like that, and it's going to generate a list of the photographers in your area. And you'll be able to pick from the most relevant times. So 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, whichever one matches up best with you, you'll be able to pick them, select them, pay for it all online, and secure your photography session right then and there. And all you have to do is meet your photographer. For the editing service, you can pretty much click a button like that, and it's going to take you to a part where you can upload your photos. You'll be able to select 1 photo or 2 photos, however many you want, you'll be able to upload them, and they get sent across our network of editors. They're all edited within 12 hours and sent back to you. The prices for this service aren't $300 or $400 or $15 like some editing companies are charging you. It's $50 per photography session for 1 hour, and we have no included fees. There's nothing else. So if you want to have you and your girlfriend or you and your son, and then you want to add in your grandparents, some photographers charge you more for different things like that. We don't care, we don't charge you for anything else. You get the whole hour to do what you want. And our editing services are only $1.50 per photo. Now there's other sites that do that service and they all charge anywhere from $10 to $20 per photo. They can get really expensive very quickly because of all the user features. And what you can expect with us is exactly what you can expect from them. So those are the prices. Some of the accomplishments today are, of course, the biggest one is we feel building out the network and getting everything set up for people to actually use. The 40 photographers and editors was probably the biggest accomplishment. And just recently, we started actually advertising for our photographers around the country, and now we're actually booking them appointments. So we've broken out of the state of Illinois and all the way to California now. We've actually started securing photo sessions for our actual photographers. We've been recently accepted to Collision Conference. It is a national tech conference. It's one of the biggest in the entire country. We're going to be going there along with another company from here at Slingshot. We're going to be presenting QikPix and networking and trying to meet people and get the word out of what we're doing. Those are our 2 biggest accomplishments that I feel. And that's QikPix. You guys have questions?
So is it 2 things you do the photography and then you also have the editing? Can you just send pictures in just for editing?
Yes. So right now on this, you can see there's a Get My Photos Edited button. So there's going to be something similar to that on the new website. Not sure where it's going to be on the new website. But yeah, you as a customer will be able to get on there in your account. You'll be able to click on Get My Photos Edited or have photos edited, and then it's going to take you to a place where you're actually able to upload 1 or 2 or.
And that's $1.50.
$1.50 per photo.
And can you say what you want done on it? Like.
Partially. So one of the reasons that drives up costs with the other sites is customers, they kind of rope customers into getting things that you should already get, like remove red eye, or things like that. So every time you click on a feature like that, the price goes up. With us, it's kind of what you can expect. That's the idea of QikPix. We want you to be able to use our service anywhere, anytime, anywhere in the country, here in Illinois, either part of the service to get your photos edited or hire a photographer and know exactly what you're getting. So the biggest thing that you'll be able to say that you want is to get the photo done black and white. That'll probably be the biggest thing. If there's like a dog in the background, we're going to give you a description box and you can say something in there, but if it goes outside the scope of what we do for $1.50, then you'll get a reply back telling you that.
I'm a photographer, so I'm just curious. Like, I've talked to you. I'm not a restaurant, so I was curious, I've looked at various things online for outsourcing editing, for example. And so I'm curious to what scope you do it, you know, some things I don't want to spend the time doing, but I know what I want done.
Exactly, yeah. So a lot of it depends upon your customers, honestly. What your customers want you to do in the photos, you know, some people like more black and white, some people like more color. I'm not a photographer, so I don't actually do the work. I'm just a person that put together the business. So we don't allow you to go too in depth, and the reason for that is because it just drives the cost up. There's really no other reason we could allow you to choose more, but what more would you want to choose? From a photography standpoint, what more would you want to choose if you knew that your photos are going to come back crisp, clear, they're not going to be blurry, as long as you send us quality photos, you know, photos that are in focus and, you know, and aren't, you know, screenshots and stuff like that, then they're going to come back edited great. They're going to come back edited good. It's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be bad quality. I don't know if we'll pull up very well in here. You want to go to the
Photo gallery?
Yeah, go to the photo gallery. These are the first photos we put up here. We're building out the new website, so I haven't actually put, you know, new photos on here from 2016. But I'll give you an example of what we just did. We had a photographer that did actually a friend of ours' wedding. We don't do weddings, as I said. So they did their wedding. They paid like $2,800 for these photos to be edited. And then they called us back a month and a half later after she got her photos and said, Jared, Katie, I need you guys to redo the photos. They weren't what she wanted, and some of them were pretty bad quality. And she sent them to us, and she knew what quality she was going to get, and that was it. And she's completely happy. So these are some of the photos that we've done. That was at a wedding. Little girl, that was another wedding photo. These are some of the first photos that we put on here, but as you can see, the quality, well, it's because of the screen right there. The quality is what you'd want from getting your photos taken.
Out of curiosity, maybe a kind of a question to follow up on what you were suggesting. As a photographer, do you have sort of a profile level thing that you want all of your photos to be of a certain, you know, I'm aiming for warm in this?
Yeah, I have a certain look to my style that I'm known for. But also one of the things I'm getting asked to do lately, which I don't have an expertise in, is like to take an image, you know, remove all the background from it. And I don't really know how to do that. I mean, I could learn, you know, I don't know if I want to spend time doing it and create it as a PNG file because these people want to pop it into something else. And I don't have a green screen.
Yeah.
But I shoot on a white backdrop, you know, and I'm so busy with everything else that I'm trying to do. I'm like, okay, that's going to take me an hour to try to research that. And just things like that, you know.
Yeah, we don't do that.
You know.
And those, if you want that type of service, then you're going to go to one of our competitors that does editing services.
Well, I could go on Fiverr. I could go find somebody on Fiverr. I was just curious if that's something you guys do too. So.
Yeah, well, the instant editing service, there's companies out there that do that, like what we're doing, you know, more in-depth scale, like what you're talking about, but they charge $8 or $9 a photo. So that's the only other way you're going to get it is to really pay for it, and then the end cost is just going to drive right back to your customers. Our goal is to keep the family photography level cost down, and we want to keep it down for the end customers and the photographers, because you guys spend a lot of money driving, and what's more important than the actual money that you guys receive is the amount of time that you guys spend. I know photographers that have said they only wind up making, you know, $16 an hour at the end of the day, because if they take into account of their time for what they got paid for the day, it doesn't come out to be a whole lot. And we pay our photographers a lot more than that, and all they have to do is show up, take photos. And our editors get paid for every single photo that they edit as well. We keep a very
So
small
how
amount
busy
of
can you
that.
keep somebody? Like, how many jobs can you give them?
Here in Illinois, we've actually been, we've been pretty steady for what we have right here in the state of Illinois. We have a few photographers here, and we've been keeping them busy with, you know, a few photo shoots here, recently every week, you know. But getting it outside the state and getting everybody busy as we want them to be, it's just gonna be a process. And the photographers that are on board are what we like to call, I guess, early adopters. We cater to two customers, I like to think. We cater to a photographer aspect, and then we cater to a customer aspect. So we really have to have early adopters on both ends. And they're very patient, and they understand that it's a startup, and we're continuing to grow, and there's steady growth. Yes?
So do the photographers and editors that are providing these services, do they have to pay to be included in this website? How does that work on that side of your?
No, they don't pay anything. We put them through a vetting process.
Okay.
And the vetting process is, usually goes very quickly. You talk to them, maybe through Skype or on the phone, get a feel for them, ask them what they've done. If they want to be a photographer, we take a look at their portfolio, and then we don't judge them, I guess you'd say. We just want to make sure that the quality of their photos is within the scope of what we want to say and offer to our customers. That way, it's pretty defined as far as what customers can expect. And we look through their photos, we run them against Google and other search engines and stuff, and make sure that they're not, taken from somebody else or stolen off the internet. And then editors, we actually send editors the same group of photos every single time, and then they have a certain amount of time to edit them and send them back to us. So we vet them all through quality, which is by far one of the most important things. And then the next thing that we're going to be doing is, of course, since we're going to be operating in the entire country, we're going to be doing background checks and stuff like that for our photographers. That way our customers know that all of our photographers and stuff like that are safe, and they've been vetted through a couple different systems through us.
Do you provide, so if I was to find a photographer or submit photos for editing, is there a way for me to rate the professionals that I worked with through your site? So then for future customers, they can look to see which photographers are highly rated or.
Yes, we're actually working on that right now. We've brought on an industrial organizational psychologist that pretty much can help us build these types of surveys in the best way possible. And we brought him on within the past couple weeks, and we've started getting the questionnaires going, for customers, so we can get the most feedback. We're going to offer perks to customers. If you want to fill out surveys, a few questions, and we'll give you a free photo edit and things like that. So you're going to have the opportunity to rate your photographer, and then you're also going to have the opportunity to rate the quality of all your photos that you receive back edited as well. And then we are also going to have a vetting, more in-depth vetting system when we actually bring the photographers and editors on, so we can cross-reference and match them later on down the line. So it's being implemented.
I know, I think it sounds like the editing process, by collaborating and crowdsourcing among a team, is going to make the process a lot faster. I know that's one of the biggest headaches for, like, our cousins just got married in August of last year, and the wedding was a ton of fun, and after the wedding it took X number of months to turn around the photos and edit them. What's kind of the turnaround time? And I'm sure it depends on the number of photos and things like that.
The turnaround time that we offer is 12 hours,
That's incredible.
and we've delivered on it.
That's really incredible.
There's one time that we didn't deliver on it, and just be honest with you guys, and that was when we got our first batch of wedding photos in, and it was just because it was something that it was before we charged and things like that, and it was something we were really still working on, and we knew the people, and we just wanted to make sure everything was put in place. But we come up with the time through actually doing the process, and we didn't just sit down and say 12 hours, we realized that we could actually undercut everybody else, and everybody else is about 24 to 48 hours. And I've used other services, and I'm not going to say which ones, but I've seen photos come back in 48, 3 days. So it just kind of all depends, but we stick to 12 hours, and we've been able to guarantee it every single time. And we also guarantee the quality of everything. So if a customer isn't happy with, the photographer, or if they aren't happy with the photos that come out, or if they're not happy with the editing, we guarantee the quality. We will do anything to work with our customers because we want everybody to be happy. And all that we really expect in return is, them to come back and good feedback. And everybody's been really great with it so far.
I feel like that's a huge selling advantage. It sounds like if a family's doing a photo shoot, they can do it on Saturday, and by Sunday or Monday they have a whole set of photos that they can take a look at.
Well, they do it on Saturday, they guarantee you'll have them on Sunday.
That's awesome.
It just depends on how much time on Sunday. So let me go a little bit more in depth on that real quick. There's a bunch of different things that we do. It's hard to kind of get it all down. So when you have a photo shoot taken, when a family books a photo shoot, you book a photo shoot through us. You show up, you take your photos with a photographer. Another thing that we do that nobody else does is we give you back every photo that was taken. So before, you were only limited to the 10 or 20 photos that a photographer would really get back to you. And a lot of them don't really choose to actually share what photos with you. They'll send over, pick a few of these out. and then that's generally what you get back, and that usually takes a week to 2 weeks. We give you all the photos back through our platform. Right now, we use a third-party service. You get an email link, you go to the third-party service, all your photos are in there unedited. Everything's in there unedited. And then it's up to you to sit down and say, okay, I only want these 5 photos edited. And then you click those 5 photos, you send them to an editor, and they back to you within 12 hours, and you still keep all the unedited photos. And we don't use them for anything. We don't use your photos for portfolios. We don't use your photos for advertising. The photos of your kids are not going to be used anywhere. The photos of you aren't going to be used anywhere. And that's another thing that professional photographers kind of make you do. You kind of have to abide by what they want, and that's most of the time. No, not saying, no offense to you or anything. Most of the time professional photographers use your photos, whether it's for a portfolio or whether it's for advertisement. And that's how they're able to show off the quality of the work. And we don't do any of that because we do all of our own photos on the other end.
They get permission. I mean, you get a release from them.
Exactly.
Ask them. You know, we're not just out there posting pictures without their permission.
Yeah, that's not what I meant. What I meant is that most photographers, a lot of photographers, don't do the photos without that. They want the permission because that's the only way they're able to build up their portfolios and get their name out there. A lot of photographers really don't operate without those standards, and right up front, we don't operate with any of them. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying we do our own photo shoots on our time and our company time and on our back end to advertise. We don't use the customer stuff to do it.
So how are you advertising to get more photographers and editors a part of your business?
So to find the photographers and editors, we really didn't advertise. We talked in social media platforms that had the largest amount of photographers and stuff in them, and they came to us. It was actually a very surprising thing that happened. My wife started talking to people about our company, excuse me, and about what we were doing, and people responded to us. And we had a lot of people respond back. In fact, the 40 photographers and editors, around the 40 number that we got, we didn't find really any of them. I think we found a couple of them. My wife's included in the 40, but we really didn't find any of them. They all found us. Now to advertise for the company, we do it on the most basic and professional way. We use social media, Twitter, Instagram, things like that, and that's been the best way to do it. We've gotten some skepticism about it, but it's the best results, and it's the best bang for our buck.
With regards to scheduling, I'm thinking children and pets. Do you schedule like per hour, or is it however long it takes? Do you block a time?
It's per hour.
Okay.
It's based off an hour. The $50 is based off a per hour. So that's why I said you can do whatever you want. If you wanted to, have your pets in there and then your kids or whatever.
Sometimes it takes longer than an hour. Which is no big deal.
And if it takes longer than an hour,
Hopefully it's not a scheduling problem, but.
no. And our customers so far have only booked in an hour or 2 hour quantities.
Okay.
And most of the time they know what's going to take longer because they've either done it before or they're not sure, and then they've asked us, and then we'll give a refund back. If it doesn't take that long, we're not going to, no, I'm holding on to your money type deal. We're not like that. Eventually what we want to do further down the process, just give you an idea of some of the stuff that we want to go with. When we do build our mobile app, we want to implement a 15-minute increment, which means that if you're with your photographer, because of course it's based upon the photographer's time and how long you have. So if you're with your photographer and like, oh man, I want to get these last few photos in, do you have an extra 15 minutes? You'll be able to say yes, you'll be able to agree to it in an app, you'll be able to agree to it, and then it'll be done and we'll charge you in a 15-minute increment for the extra 15 minutes. It's not something we're able to do right now, but if a customer has any requests like that or anything, or if it winds up going over a little bit, then we definitely work with them on it. Yes.
So let's say I have vacation pictures and I want to get my photos edited. I guess, how is it different from using like a Snapseed or another editing service that I can get for free online? As a consumer, I guess I don't know that much about photography, so what do I get for my $1.50 versus using a free program?
How busy is your life? I'm giving you back the most valuable asset that
Okay.
you have, and that's pretty much your time. Because if you're as busy as me, or as that guy, or as this guy, or as so many other people I know, you don't have 5 seconds, let alone 5 minutes to sit down and edit your own vacation photos. And think about, if you want 10 photos, what do you spend, $15 on a daily basis? To give you back some of your time and to provide you a service that you don't really know, like you said. It's definitely in your favor.
So would I guess, specify how I want them to look, like whatever warmer setting or black and white, or do I just say, here are my photos, do what you want, make them look prettier?
It's just all depends. You have an option box in there. And on this, if you want to use this is going to be the roughest version you'll probably ever see of what we do. Not because how it was built, but because it's an MVP. That's just how it goes. Everything from here is always update, and what we do is we take the critical feedback from customers, evaluate what's most important, and then we implement it in the next part. And that's what we've been doing. So everything from here is only going up. But what you can do is if you have 10 photos that you want to go through here and you want to say, you'll upload them, and then down at the bottom, you'll have a box and you can say, if you want to say make them more warm, if that's what makes you feel like that's going to be the best, then you can. But lifestyle is about the warm tones and, brighter and stuff like that. So you're going to get what you're looking for if that's what you want. And if you want black and white, just put in there, kind of this photo done in black and white. Or if you want both, you can put in there, I want both, and then you'll just pay for that extra edit at the end. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, so I guess for my $1.50, I'm just handing a batch over to you and getting back the result versus me spending the time, if I'm not super familiar with the program.
And doing it yourself.
that way.
But the idea is that the quality's there, and it's going to be expected across the board. So no matter who your photos go to, you're going to get the same quality around the board.
So I'm walking my daughter down the aisle in a month, and you can imagine what my life is with a wife and a daughter trying to figure out pictures for the card box and all this good stuff. So I got pictures, and I know absolutely nothing about photography. So will it make the picture crisper through your process? So right now there's like a little fuzziness to it. My wife doesn't like it. It doesn't seem to have the pop out as she would like. Is that something you guys do through the service?
And this is why I want my wife here. I'm not a photographer.
Yeah,
I'm not a photographer, and you can even jump in if you want to.
And it's like the resolution isn't high enough.
Yeah, and a lot of times what we've seen with problems like that is it's just the problem with the photo.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things that you can do, but when you start altering a photo too much, you'll ruin the photo.
Okay, well that's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, like things that are out of focus, it's just out of focus. We can't change the focus point. If it's fuzzy, there's a few things that you can do.
It's not fuzzy, it's just that the resolution doesn't seem as crisp as what some of the other pictures did, so.
Well, what I can tell you that you can do is you can send it to us
I'll give it a shot,
and we'll edit it, and if it's still not what you want, we'll take care of it.
Okay.
I mean, that's the worst thing. You're gonna spend $1.50 on trying to get a photo for your wife that she really, really wants.
Listen, $3 would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, so I mean, what's the matter here?
Listen, I'll spend $3 at this stage. If
You
you
can
just
go
drop
home and
it
tell your
off.
wife, I found a solution for
That's
the
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go home and
photo.
say, hey, honey, guess what I found this week?
Yeah.
So,
And if you do it this morning, you'll have it back this afternoon. So
perfect.
it's a win-win. Yes,
Are the photographers, by the way, great job.
thank you.
It was good service. Are the photographers also the editors, or they're two different classes?
We break them apart into 2 different classes. Photographers are editors for the most part, unless you have a photographer that doesn't do editing, and then they strictly go to editing services like ones that are being provided now, like what we are, like some of the other ones that we're talking about. But the photographers are editors, so we break them apart into two separate categories. We have photographers that want to do both. We have photographers that just want to do photography, and then we have photographers that only like to do editing. Like that's their passion in photography, and they just do that. So we break them apart into the different categories.
All right, the thing I'm interested in is your pricing point for the photo editing. $50 an hour, that's good for photographers. That's on the professional end, but they're usually being booked like half day or full day. But on the photo editing, $1.50 a picture seems like they're just sending it through a filter and pushing it out. I mean, to have a photographer that's making $50 an hour editing, he's gonna have to spend a minute on a photo or 2 minutes on a photo and push it out. There's very little you can do when editing a photo in 2 minutes. So my question is, how did you come up with the price point of $1.50 a photo?
We looked at what people are being paid per hour, for regular industry jobs, and then we actually sent it through the process. The way we come up with our prices is by actually performing the services. And what I mean by that is we sent photos to photographers and we asked them what they thought about it. And they told us their first price point was way too low. We're like, okay, we'll bump it up. And we're completely happy with the $1.50. And what the $1.50 is we pay the editor $1 for every photo that they edit. So you think that you can't do a lot in a few minutes, but you can do an incredible amount. You can do a lot more than what you think. I bet one of my editors will get more done to a photo in 2.5 minutes than you will using editing software in 10 or 15. Maybe not you personally, but the average consumer.
I work with a lot of photographers and videographers, so I definitely understand the process of editing a photo. I see an issue coming across in the future in which when you guys reach a certain point and you want to cater to customers all across the country, you're going to have to do a phenomenal amount of marketing and advertising, and then that's going to cost a phenomenal amount of money, and making 50 cents per photo will not, your customer value, your long-term customer value is very, very small. So I wonder how flexible you guys will be on pricing, on changing your pricing, because once you want to cater to someone and get your photographers in California, a lot of businesses keep them busy. It's going to cost a lot of money. Same thing here in Bloomington or Chicago. You're working with 40 photographers now. To keep those guys full-time work, it's not going to just come organically.
Of course
you're
not.
going to have to put a lot of effort into it. And I think your prices is very different. You got $9 scale, high, then you got very low, $1.50. So there's wiggle room for growth.
Of course there is. It's devised like that.
All right, so you guys are expecting to eventually raise your prices?
It's gonna happen sometime down the line. I'm gonna hold off until I have to do it, or until we grow that much. The idea of keeping the price points as low as we can, and you're talking about, you said that what we're providing to our users, right? The value that we're providing to our users, the value that we're providing to our users is phenomenal. We're just not making as much money as we could. That's what you're talking about, is the price point.
No, I was referring to the lifetime customer value. In order to put your promotional program in place.
Okay, I know what you, okay, all right, I understood it. Yeah, with Facebook and things like that, you can reach a lot and get a lot for your money. I don't know if you've used those types of platforms to advertise. That's what we've used. We've advertised all across the country right now, and at least in the 20 states that we're operating in. And our profit margins are fine for right now. And I'm expecting to grow, I really do. I expect them to grow. And I expect us to wind up having to raise the prices, probably on the editing and possibly on the photography again. And it's something that, I see coming, and when we feel that point's there, then we'll do it.
There you go. Okay.
And with our customers, we've already raised our prices once. We started out like $35 an hour and 99 cents per photo. So we've already adjusted once in the 8 months and didn't see any problem, with customer growth or anything like that.
So last thing we always wrap up with the presentations and the people that we have here is to ask them, the things that we can be doing for you to help you get where you want to go.
I guess like any business person, I'll ask you to use a service. Yeah, just the biggest thing that we find most valuable is really what we get right now is questions and answers from customers and from individuals, and then the feedback from the service. So we'd like for everybody to use the service, and we'd like for everybody to tell us what they think of it. That's the most critical thing that we can use right now as a growing company, and breaking out of our MVP and into our actual website is getting as much feedback as we possibly can on everything. So we'd love for you to use the service. I encourage you to use it. If it's not something that you use for professional photographers, let other people know about it, and then, yeah, give us some feedback on it. And if there's anything you guys need, we're here for you. All my contact information is on there, so please reach out in any manner that you want. I talked to Dawn on the phone for, I think, like 45 minutes one day, 'cause she had a bunch of questions about the business, so I'm available for you guys if you guys ever need anything as well.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.